What's good, YouTube? It's KB with JusDueBoxing back with another video. This your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when new content drops. Let's get right into it, man. We got an interesting matchup coming to y'all October 29th. It's the co-main event of Vasyl Lomachenko versus Jermaine Ortiz. And the co-main event we got for y'all is Jessie Magdaleno versus Robeisy Ramirez, which I think is going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a very entertaining fight. I think it's a good test for both. You know, Ramirez is constantly making his way through the ranks in the featherweight division. And, you know, Magdaleno, he only suffered just one defeat. You know, he's 29-1, 18 KOs. He's just 30 years old, an orthodox fighter. He's 5'4" with a 66-inch reach. His last fight was May 21st. Versus Edie Valencia Mercado, who was 19-6-6. It was definitely a journeyman. You know, it was more so a stay busy fight for Magdaleno, and he pretty much won by a shutout. You know, his only loss in his professional career is to Isaac Dogboe, which was back in 2018 when Dogboe was still unbeaten himself at 18-0. You know, Magdaleno came into that fight at 25-0, and he definitely was the favorite, but he ended up losing by 11th round KO. You know, it was very competitive. It was a back and forth affair for the most part. You know, Dogboe was knocked down early in the first round, and, you know, he got up off the deck to come back strong. And, you know, ultimately he knocked Magdaleno down in the 5th and twice in the 11th, ultimately getting a, you know, KO stoppage. You know, since then, Magdaleno has been on a four fight win streak, you know, since losing back in 2018. But the only issue is, you know, he hasn't challenged himself with any real threats, and, you know, his opposition has been, you know, subpar to say the best. Very low level opposition and journeymen, things of that nature. Veterans, you know, but journeymen nonetheless. No real true tests since facing Isaac Dogboe, and that might come back to bite him in his ass when he goes up against Robeisy Ramirez. You know, Robeisy Ramirez is 10-1 with 6 KOs. He's 28 years old. He's a Cuban slick southpaw. You know what I mean? Come forward southpaw. Cuban southpaw. He's 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. His last fight was June 18th versus the unbeaten 21-0 Abraham Nova, who he brutally knocked out in the 5th round with a picture-perfect overhand left. You know what I mean? In the 5th round, he knocked Abraham Nova in the corner, and it was brutal, you know, and it was even no reason for the ref to even count. I mean, you could tell as soon as the punch landed, that pretty much was it for Nova, and he was unable to recover and get back to his feet. And, you know, he suffered his first, you know, loss as a professional by a 5th round, you know, knockout to Robeisy Ramirez. You know, Robeisy's only professional loss, you know, came at the hands of Adam Gonzalez in his pro debut, where he was dropped and outboxed slightly, losing a very close split decision to Adam Gonzalez, who he avenged that loss, you know, several fights later. About 4 fights later, he avenged that loss, winning a 6th round unanimous decision, embarrassing Adam Gonzalez, knocking snot out his nose. And, you know, he dominated him for those 6 rounds, and he definitely got his get back. And I think it's safe to say, you know, Jessie Magdaleno got his hands full with Robeisy Ramirez. And there's no doubt in my mind that Magdaleno, you know, might not necessarily be the best opponent that Robeisy's faced, but Robeisy is definitely going to be the most skilled opponent, in my honest opinion, that Jessie Magdaleno faced. And I think it's going to show come fight night. You know, this dude, not only is he Cuban, he has that Cuban style. You know, he's very slick. He can move, but he comes forward. He's a southpaw, and he comes to hurt you. And he packs a pretty decent punch, does Robeisy Ramirez, and he's very skilled. He can move very well. He digs to the body. He has hand speed. He controls distance and range very well. I mean, make no mistake about it. You know, even though Magdaleno only got the 1 loss, he's going to have his hands full. No doubt in my mind, Robeisy Ramirez is definitely the more skilled fighter going into this fight. And, you know, Magdaleno, he only lost just the once. He's only once beaten. So, you know, he shouldn't be a walk in the park for Robeisy, you know, but in that 1 loss, he did sustain some punishment, but he hasn't had a ton of wars. He's had some pretty tough fights, a few, but he hasn't had many. So let's see just how Magdaleno looks at the age of 30. Like I said, at 29-1 with 18 KOs. You know what I mean? He hasn't lost since 2018. He's on a 4-fight win streak. So let's see if he's able to, you know, I'm expecting him to be the underdog in this fight, despite him having, you know, twice as much pro experience as Robeisy Ramirez. I'm a firm believer in boxing that there's levels. And we all know Robeisy Ramirez is a gold medalist. And he's a very skilled individual. And it's going to show come fight night. I think Magdaleno, like I said, man, he'd be lucky if he makes it out of this fight. It's a 10-round fight. And if Robeisy doesn't knock him out late, I definitely see him dominating this fight on points and winning by unanimous decision. That's my thoughts on it. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know if y'all going to be tuning into this fight between Robeisy Ramirez and Jessie Magdaleno. And as always, get in that comment section to let me know if I gave Robeisy Ramirez and Jessie Magdaleno their just due. Because that's what I do over here at JusDueBoxing. Until the next one, I'm out. Peace.